And I am a law of attraction coach. I have a group that meets on Saturdays. And this Saturday, so the way this came about is we were talking, I was listening on Saturday morning to a story about Leslie, a former, I don't remember her last name, I should have researched that before I got online, but about this former WNBA basketball player, Leslie someone, and she had, she played back in the day, and she was telling the story, and now she was an ESPN newscaster, and her bosses asked her to do this workout because it would enable her to tell the story about the workout better, because she was going to do a story on these girls doing this workout. So she was dressed in street clothes, and she took her shoes off and did this workout. And Bill Lambier was in the stands watching and timed her and approached her and said, "Hey, that was amazing. It's like you did that in, no shoes. And I was like really impressed. Your time was incredible. Would you consider playing again?" And she said, "Absolutely." And she was 50 at this point. So she played this one game, and at 50, and she became the first woman ever to play professional basketball at the age of 50. She broke this record. And they were interviewing her after about breaking the record, and what if somebody else came along and broke her record. And she was like, "I'm all about that. I think that would be really cool. I think it's up to each other. I think it's up to all of us to push each other to greatness." And I just like that statement just like stayed in my mind, because I do think it is up to each other, up to all of us to push each other to greatness. And so I did a little research, and I found this video by Bo Eason, and he is a former football player, and he now does videos and motivational speaking and probably coaching. And he said that the one thing that he gets from men a lot in this period of time when he was recording was this sort of regret or lament about not having anybody that had pushed them. That what they had wished in life was that they would have had someone that pushed them. And he comes right back and says that these are the same guys that are saying as parents or as coaches, they don't want to be that pushy person. They don't want to be that pushy guy, that pushy parent, and that pushy dad. And I presented all of this on Saturday to my LOA group, and I said, I wrote up on the board, we're going to push each other to greatness. And I asked them how they felt about it. Like, how do you feel about that? And they were like, "Well, I don't think we should push each other. I don't want to say anything, and I don't want to do anything that might offend somebody or. And I was journaling about this morning because I gave them some homework to do. And it was to journal on who would you be if you had been pushed, if your parents had pushed you. And I realized that, first of all, that we can't push anybody if we haven't pushed ourselves. If you haven't experienced that, if I don't push myself beyond my comfort zone to do things that I'm afraid to do things that are unusual or out of my comfort zone, then I can't push other people to do that. And the same is true for everybody that was in the group, that, if I begin pushing you, that means I have to push myself. And I don't think it's ever that we're afraid that we might have to make somebody do something that they don't want to do, because I think that's, in many ways, that's exactly what we do. That's exactly what coaches do. We push to, we show the benefit and we encourage and support, yes. But ultimately, you really do want to push people toward their goal. Let me push you. I'll stand right here behind you, but I'm going to push you. I'll be right there with you, but I'm going to push you. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to support you, but I'm going to push you. And I think it is scary. I think it's very intimidating to think that, if I do this, I have to push myself. And it is a commitment. And it's also a really good thing, because it has enabled me over the past just couple of days to look at ways to push myself. and how I'm going to push myself. And that I do wish that my parents had pushed me in some ways to achieve and to do things that I didn't do. So tomorrow we're going to talk about the things that pushing yourself or others, the benefits of that on the other side. So until tomorrow. Oh, if you would like to join us on Saturdays or you want to work with me, you can email me at elizabethpudwell@gmail.com. I also have a workshop coming up in January. Email me about that and I'll give you more details and tell you about it. It's called Living Abundantly. And I have 2 other people that are working with me on that. So it's going to be great. So I'll be back tomorrow.